Saturdays at 8 a.m.
on KSJE, the information and cultural beacon of the Four Corners.
Hi, I'm Sam Payne, host of The Appleseed, an hour filled with stories for you and your family. And we're not talking about news stories here. We're talking about fairy tales and folk tales and personal stories and family tales and even a little music from time to time. And each story could spark a memory for you that you can share with the people that you love. Hear The Appleseed every Thursday at noon, right here on the information and cultural beacon of the Four Corners, KSJE, Farmington, New Mexico.
Scott Duran here from the World Beach Show to remind you you're listening to the Four Corners only classical and jazz radio station, KSJE, Farmington, New Mexico, and now 103.3 in Durango, Colorado. KSJE, the information and cultural beacon of the Four Corners.
Wednesday morning here on KSJE, and time to take our weekly trip to the Encouragement Lab. Joining me from the lab this morning, there he is, the one and only Dr. Mike Hattabaugh. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us again this week, and you're talking this week about you expect people to lie, but.
So we've been doing, things I've learned in the first 20 years of this millennium, and this is another one.
Right.
I expect people to lie, but I don't expect others to accept it.
Okay. All right.
And we've become a culture that accepts other people's lies. Where do you want to start? Let's start with the guy in the White House right now in 1988 had to drop out of the presidential election for lying. We've now elected a president, and that's not an indictment on either party. It's a commonality now in our culture.
Okay.
The guy that left before him told a few big ones, I think, as well.
A few. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's been well documented.
So,
true.
Like I said, I'm not picking on a certain party here. I'm talking about our culture. So when I talk about these are things that we, at least some of these are international culture, but most of them are very specific to the subculture I call America.
Right.
But there's been a lot of research done on the fact that we've become a culture. Postmodernism has put us in this place of the ends justify the means. And if the person that I like where they're wanting to go with their policies or beliefs or whatever, if they have to lie to get that policy, well, what's the big deal with that? Whereas 50, 75 years ago, we didn't accept lying in our culture. You got fired for that, even if you were well respected, or even if you were on my team of beliefs. We didn't tolerate that, and now we do. There's no doubt that we now tolerate lying, and that's what I'm trying to say here. Is I expect everyone to lie. Most of us at some point are going to be liars, but we used to live in a culture that didn't accept that. Once you got caught, your voice was. Somebody famous said this, and I can't remember who it was, but they said, I'm not upset that you lied. I'm upset that I can no longer believe you ever again.
Right.
That's the problem with. Once you've lied once, then I never can know, whether or not you're telling the truth. And so when we get really frustrated when the person that, again, might be president of the United States that's in our party, if they've lied in the past, guess what? It's okay. It's perfectly normal behavior to go that, guess what? Some people are never going to believe that person now.
Right.
And so again, I'm picking on the last two presidents, but guess what? It's everywhere.
True.
It happens every day. The front page retractions of every major newspaper in America, if they're retracted at all, are found on page 6. The headlines on social media are lies to begin with, and oftentimes the commentator comes and says, well, that's not actually true. I just wanted you to watch my video.
Right. Yeah, that's frustrating for many of us, for sure.
So quit trying to fix liars and start asking the question, how do we not accept it anymore? That's, to me, the answer to this. Not how do I stop lying. Lying will always take place.
Right.
But until we start literally saying your voice is no longer going to be heard. I try to live that way. Once you've lied to me, you're a clanging gong to me. I don't count. I mean, by the way, a lot of major news places now I do not trust as far as I can throw them because it's been caught lying too much.
Right. Well, I think that's fair, and that's important, and I think something to think about for sure. So we expect to be lied to, but we don't have to accept it.
Don't have to, and don't accept people that accept it. That's,
Right.
don't tolerate that. And I say don't tolerate, don't get in their face or anything. It's just realize that a lot of this fight for core beliefs that we're having are from people that are just full of hot air. Just,
True.
the news is every day about that.
There is, for sure. Very true. Dr. Mike Hattabaugh, thank you very much. Always good advice.
You bet.
Thank you. That's Dr. Mike Hattabaugh. He joins me every Wednesday from the Encouragement Lab right here on KSJE